The path to success is not the road that everyone walks, but rather the path of the rare, mysterious, and very few individuals in this world. This is a result of their way of thinking, actions, and decisions, which are entirely different from ordinary people. These are the 1% of the population. So in this video, I will literally give you the mindset and actions you need to adopt to become one of the 1% of successful people in the world. And trust me, this might be the most important thing you'll ever hear in your life, because the goal of this video is not to motivate you to be productive every day, but to make productivity a part of your identity. I will present to you 5 interconnected and coherent rules, and if you manage to apply them all, you will become unstoppable. The first rule is control your desires. This must be the first habit I talk about because it is what makes you just like all the lazy, unproductive people who spend 8 hours at school or work and the rest of their time goes into social media, video games, watching pornography, eating sugary foods, and wasting time complaining about their financial situation. All of these things are desires that give you a big dopamine boost, making them highly enjoyable. That is why we have all become slaves to life's pleasures. Successful companies have understood this weakness and now compete to provide the best sources of enjoyment: better tasting food, more exciting games, more captivating series. Even when scrolling through Reels or TikTok, they don't give you the same content repeatedly to prevent boredom. Instead, every 5 or 6 videos, they show you something you love, keeping you engaged while ensuring your dopamine levels stay high. As a result, we all have dreams, but no one follows them or walks the path to achieving them. We now live in a world free of boredom and pain, which is unnatural. Because of these easily accessible pleasures, every productive action feels incredibly dull and unsatisfying. Going to the gym becomes a burden, eating healthy is harder, and getting quality sleep seems impossible with the constant exposure to blue light from phones and other devices. Now, I know you have dreams and goals that you are striving to achieve, and the most important key to accomplishing them is self-control. Let me explain how you can live in a world where you are in control, not the other way around. I, like many others, have tried daily to become someone who controls their desires, limiting gaming time, phone use, and sugar intake. But no matter how hard I tried, I always fell back into bad habits. That's because I didn't know the correct way to take control of myself. The mistake I was making was forcing myself to work while my favorite game was right there on my computer. I tried to eat healthy while my fridge was full of soda and sweets. I tried to finish a book while my phone was next to me, filled with games and my favorite TV shows. The problem is obvious. I was trying to control myself while being surrounded by distractions, a battle that I and everyone else was doomed to lose. When we try to quit a certain addiction, whether it's a specific food, a game, or social media, we can't resist it while it's right in front of us. It's impossible. This is because of something called willpower. Let me explain quickly. Willpower is a renewable energy source, like a battery. It gets drained when used too much. That's why it's unreliable. It depletes too quickly. For example, if I'm reading a book while my phone is next to me, I'm constantly using my willpower to resist checking it. Eventually, my willpower will run out, and I will give in to distractions. This was the mistake I was making. I relied solely on willpower, but the best solution is to control your environment. Listen carefully. All successful people, without exception, have their own controlled environment. The athlete's fridge is free of all sugary foods, so they don't have to use willpower. The reader has a small library in their room, and most of what they watch is related to books. What I mean is that if you want to be among the rare successful people in this world, you must control your desires. One of the ways to do this is by creating an environment that supports your goals. Instead of saying, "I won't watch Reels anymore," delete Instagram. This way, it will be completely impossible for you to open it. As a result, you will preserve your willpower. If you have friends who do nothing but complain, they will ruin your environment and make you just like them. The videos you watch also shape you, so instead of only watching TV shows and playing video games, expose yourself to beneficial content. Constant exposure to something makes you adopt it. If you constantly watch bodybuilding videos, talk about fitness, and have friends who work out, you will start working out too. This is why your environment plays a crucial role in transforming you from someone addicted to fleeting pleasures into someone addicted to meaningful success, simply because you are constantly exposed to it. So if you find yourself addicted to a habit that keeps you from more important work, the problem is not you, it's your environment. Change your environment and your actions will change too. Remember this, your actions, thoughts, decisions, and beliefs are all shaped by the environment and surroundings you have been exposed to in the past. Create the right environment now, and you will enjoy a healthy and fulfilling life in the future. To understand how important your environment is, try this. Lock yourself in your room and remove all distractions, your phone, games, everything. Then ask yourself what you will do. At first, you will feel bored, but soon you will pick up that book you haven't read in a long time. Then you might start working on your assignments or exercising. You may even grab a piece of paper and start planning your goals, or a business idea might come to mind, and you will start working on it. Why? Because humans need stimulation. We need dopamine. And even though reading a book or working on a project might not seem fun compared to your usual habits, they will become enjoyable once you're no longer addicted to unhealthy sources of pleasure. Changing your environment was the first thing you needed to change in order to become someone who controls their desires. The second thing is mental toughness. Let's begin this second solution with what David Goggins said. We now live in a time where if you have even a little bit of mental toughness, you're already at the top of the pyramid. Mental toughness is essential. It is a way of life for every successful person and the key for anyone on the path to success because, quite literally, it makes you unstoppable. Mental toughness simply means that you do not care about your emotional state regarding anything. For example, if you studied a lot but didn't get the grade you wanted, if you are mentally tough, the sadness that seeped into your mind will not affect you. Being mentally tough means doing the right thing, doing what you need to do regardless of your mood. That is why it is crucial in your life. Nowadays, emotions control people. After a little effort, they fail. So what do? They turn to distractions, occupying themselves with games and social media. But I am sure that after this video, you will not be like that. The solution to being tough and disciplined on your journey is simply to recognize your dreams. If your dream depends on studying, but you are currently busy playing video games, then you are not taking your dream seriously. If your dream is to be an athlete, but you do not train and eat only sweets, then you are just a failure like everyone else who has dreams but destroyed them for the sake of a fleeting, foolish pleasure. Is that what you want? Please stop being a slave to your desires. You control your mind, not the other way around. Your dream is clear, and the actions you need to take to achieve it are also clear. All you have to do is move. Yes, move. We have become so weak and lazy that we lose hope after our first failure. All that matters to us is finishing a game or a movie. You are the master of your decisions. Now you may ask, what is the solution to becoming mentally tough? The solution is to understand everything I'm telling you now. First, you must be convinced that life is not fair. Some people work hard and fail, while others do nothing and succeed. Do not expect life to be fair. Second, you must be convinced that if you want to achieve any dream, you must suffer. We have started to believe that working for an hour causes depression, that exercising and stopping sweets causes intense sadness. No, this is because of the addiction to distractions that made us think life is easy and fun. You must understand that anything beneficial and aligned with your goals is not enjoyable. Rather, it is very boring. To be mentally tough, you must accept boredom. This is the essence of discipline. What you need to do is not fun, but it is essential to reaching your goal. Stop being weak and a failure and start moving. Start acting. At the moment when you do not feel like working, to hell with motivation. You are a disciplined person who does not need motivation. What you need is simply to understand the magnitude of your goals and dreams, to understand the difficulty of achieving them, and then to begin. Keep in mind that boredom is necessary and sadness is necessary. The moment you do not want to work is the best time to work. Believe me, it is not as bad as you think. Your brain, due to excessive exposure to distractions, has started giving you negative thoughts about work, making you see it as a nightmare. But as soon as you start, you will realize it was just an ordinary task. Always remember, you are in control. Not your mind, not your emotions, not your mood. Once you get used to this mindset, you will experience a great sense of happiness after finishing your work. Even though starting work or studying is difficult, it will give you a beautiful feeling filled with satisfaction and comfort, and its long-term effects on your future are significant as well. At that point, you can reward yourself by playing a game, watching a series, or browsing social media. Your goal is not to cut these things out completely, but rather to make them a reward that motivates you to finish your work so you can enjoy them. If you master the first solution, creating a good environment, and adopt this discipline-oriented mindset, you will become highly skilled in self-control. Creating a good environment will no longer require much effort, and at the same time, you will have the mental toughness to take any action or make any decision. You will be the one who knows when to play and when to work, when to train and when to stop. There will be days when you return to excessive phone use, enjoyment, and laziness. When that happens, review yourself, review your thoughts, remember your goals, and return to maturity. Believe me, if you persist with this mindset, nothing will ever distract you again. The second rule to be among the top 1% of successful people is hide your goals. This rule is mostly about keeping your mouth shut. Please be quiet and stop exposing yourself to people. Every time you meet someone and get to know them for a short while, you start talking about your goals, what you are doing to achieve them, and what you have accomplished in the past. The negative consequences of this habit are, from a social perspective, people do not want to know about your goals, achievements, or anything about you. People do not care about you. Talking in this way will make them see you as arrogant and self-centered, even if that was not your intention. As a result, they will distance themselves from you, and then you will start wondering, how do I find friends? That is the problem. Let me give you a simple tip for building strong relationships with people as an extra piece of information. Talk about what people want to to hear. Talk about what they enjoy, ask about their ambitions and goals, listen to them, try to understand them, and take away even one valuable thing from the conversation. You will see how people will start enjoying being around you. On the other hand, do not talk about yourself. Most of our conversations revolve around, I did this and I want that. Try to be mysterious. Talk about topics that interest others and ask about them, but do not reveal too much about yourself. This will make people constantly think about you because they know everything about everyone except you. The first benefit of being mysterious is that you will gain friends and, more importantly, you will gain their respect. But the real benefit lies in the following. Let's go deeper into this. Suppose you started working on a project and were excited to complete it. As soon as you met some people, whether they are close to you or not, you started talking about how you are learning about the project and how you will succeed in it. Two things will happen here. First, these people will not care about you and will discourage you. They will tell you that you are wasting your time and effort and that you should stop this nonsense because you will not succeed. Why does this happen? Because people by nature bring others down. They do not like seeing someone rise above them. Instead of reaching that person's level, they pull him down by criticizing and discouraging him. Now you feel discouraged and may stop working on your project. They might even keep bringing it up, asking whether you have succeeded yet, when in reality, such a project takes a long time. They will become a source of annoyance for you. The second scenario is that they admire you and ask about your project, making you feel happy because they are encouraging you. But here lies the problem. This false sense of happiness gives you the illusion that you have already succeeded in the project or any other endeavor. As a result, you will also stop working. This applies to all aspects of your life. The conclusion is that no matter how people react to what you share about your dreams and progress, you will eventually stop. I personally experienced this multiple times before. I once talked about how I started working out at home to build muscle, but the result was that I stopped. So anything you want to do, anything on your mind, any goal or dream, or even struggles you endure to reach your destination, keep them between you and yourself. People only know how to discourage. The only time you should talk to someone about your goals is when you need their advice or when they need advice and you tell them, I also do this and that and I recommend the following. This is how most successful people operate. They learn on their own, achieve on their own, and never speak their goals aloud. Some even discuss topics that contradict their real goals just to mislead people. There is a quote from Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power that says, have you ever heard of a skillful general who intends to surprise a citadel announcing his plan to his enemy? Conceal your purpose and hide your progress. Do not disclose the extent of your designs until they cannot be opposed, until the combat is over. Win the victory before you declare the war. In a word, imitate those warlike people whose designs are not known except by the ravaged country through which they have passed. The third rule to be among the 1% of successful people is learn. It is just one word, but behind it lies many paragraphs. Well, this seems normal, right? Most people do not like to learn. The presence of social media and distractions in general has made them forget the importance of learning. And I'm not referring to the knowledge you gain in school. Most of that is useless talk. It is certainly beneficial, but not to that extent. Very few people in this world truly learn and seek knowledge out of curiosity. Most people now assume they know everything, but let me tell you, every time I read a new book, I realize how ignorant I am. We are all ignorant. Don't assume that just because you have read books or obtained degrees, you are knowledgeable. Knowledge, my friend, has no end, and no matter what kind of knowledge it is, it will benefit you. Look at most successful people, billionaires, famous individuals, role models. They are still striving to increase their knowledge and intelligence through various means. Reading, learning from experiences, YouTube, podcasts, courses, and articles. Everything is available to you. Robert Kiyosaki, in his famous book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, says, learn a little about everything. He spoke about a young woman who was a fan of his and showed him some of her books. Robert was amazed by her beautiful writing and storytelling, so he asked if she had tried selling them. She replied that they hadn't been very successful, and this is where I ask you the same question. He then told her about a nearby course he knew of that teaches sales and marketing effectively. She shouted at him, saying, I have specialized degrees in English. How can you say this to me? He responded, read what is written at the end of my book. Best-selling book, not best-written novel. She immediately left. And this is the key point, dear viewer. Being a skilled writer is not enough if you don't know how to market your book, how to sell it, or even how to structure its ideas properly. So learn. There are so many major mistakes we make daily simply because we are ignorant of these things. Learn about sleep, how important it is in your life, how to regulate it, and how to sleep better. Learn about fitness, how muscles grow, how to burn fat, how to follow the right diet, and why this activity is even called a sport. Learn a sport as well. Learn about religions. Why do I follow this religion, and what makes it more valid than another? Search and read. Even during your commute to work or school, listen to a lesson, a book summary, or a podcast. And most importantly, apply what you learn. Learn how to build successful relationships, how to increase your productivity, and how to learn effectively. People are unaware of all these things and do not care about them, but you are different from them. And believe me, any knowledge you acquire has value. Anything you learn can be applied in your life. But due to the strong dose of dopamine we get from instant gratification, it has overshadowed the joy of learning and reading. But now you know this. So search, ask, and learn from any source, and never be arrogant about the amount of information you have, for what you do not know is far greater. Fourth, change your habits. Look, everything I mentioned before is about habits. Being mysterious, learning, being disciplined. They are all habits. There are hundreds of habits you can adopt to build a bright future, and thousands of bad habits you practice daily that need to be eliminated. Successful people pay close attention to their daily habits and try to create a well-structured day by forming interconnected, healthy habits that increase their productivity. The book Atomic Habits by James Clear details everything about habits, how to build new ones, and how to break bad ones. For now, take a pen and paper and write down everything you do in a day. There is nothing wrong with this. You are doing it to analyze the mistakes in your daily routine and to understand yourself better to build a better future. So don't try to avoid it. Take a pen and paper and write. Then identify the bad habits and try to find their sources. Look for new habits to adopt, and eventually, everything will become routine for you. Waking up early can become a habit. Exercising daily can become a habit. Reading, studying, and working, all of these can become habits. And habits mean that you will do these tasks automatically. You won't feel the burden of them like in the early days. On the contrary, you will feel frustrated if you fail to complete your habit. There are also very obvious bad habits. Addiction to sugar is a habit, addiction to video games is a habit, and talking about your goals too much is a habit. You need to realize that you are engaging in many foolish habits, and you must work on changing them. Fifth, consistency. To be a successful person and among the 1% in this world, you must be relentless in the battle and accept nothing but victory. Either you die a winner or you die trying to win. Most people give up quickly due to the overwhelming distractions and the difficulty of stepping out of their comfort zones. Any effort from someone starting something new usually stops after a week because they see no results. Do you realize how weak people have become? They give up after just a week or even less simply because they don't see results. But the few people in this world who stay on their path keep searching for the mistakes they make, correct them, fail again, and try once more. Any goal or result you wish to achieve comes with a certain amount of struggle. As someone from the 1%, you must accept these hardships and endure them no matter how difficult they are. There is no result without struggle. That is the reality, my friend. Nothing is easy. You must work hard, sweat, go through moments of sadness, and face times when you want to give up on everything. This is reality. If you don't accept reality, you don't accept life. Be mature and understand that you have a dream you need to reach. You must overcome every obstacle that stands in the way of that dream. So stop complaining about your situation. Don't be like everyone else, controlled by social media, growing weaker, unable to communicate with people, always thinking they are depressed. They only know school, then grow up, get a job, get married, have kids, and still keep scrolling on TikTok until they die. I have explained this in detail, how to become unstoppable once you start something, and how to develop the mindset of consistency. Everything in this video will benefit you greatly. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.